Yes, good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing? And excellent topics, too. Just to reply to the last, and this is a quick comment. This is just a reply to the last two callers. Yeah, one was talking about jobs, and you had one talking about protecting yourself in the house. You know what? 40 or 30 years ago, you would never be thinking about this kind of stuff. People are really scared, and people now want to protect themselves. 40 years ago, it wasn't that rapid like that. Number one. Number two, the jobs. The jobs is not going to solve this problem. There's people that want jobs are people who's trying to do the right thing, want to take care of their family, keep their home, or just to live the right way. That's not it. We have a different beast of this type of things out here now. And I don't want to, and I'm sorry to call someone a beast. I don't mean to say that. But we got people out here. They don't give a damn what you do. Anything you do, they're going to still want to do what they want to do. And I'm sorry for my language also.
No, it's okay. But how about if we let Syron answer that question and start out there?
If I could, real briefly on that. I love to operate in the spirit realm, and I'm saying those are certain lazy spirits out there. And one of the key things with spirit is hopelessness, and some of them people out there are very hopeless because they haven't been exposed to anything. So they have to see something to be inspired to want to do better.
And I think you're right, sir. There's a lot of other ways we need to tackle this issue as well. And the police department being whittled down the way they have been over the last few years needs to stop. We need to get them back up to the strength that they had before. But we also need to train them better and work with them in better ways so that they are cooperating with the community just as much as the community is with them. So let's take another call.
Hi. I think part of the problem is this whole notion of stop snitching. And I wanted to know from you, Sy, what do you think we can do to instill in people that that's not the correct thing to do? You should actually do the opposite.
Right. We have to be real careful with that because the thing about the stop snitching campaign, if you will, it could be very dangerous when you do. I don't even like giving energy to the word snitch. If you know something, you should say something, but it's how you say it. And you shouldn't be publicly saying it where you're putting you and your family life in jeopardy, because in certain neighborhoods, it can be a matter of life and death. So forget snitching. You should communicate in a very secret way if you know who committed a crime, because that person can come and commit the same crime to someone in your family. So I will say it's just going to take real personal engagement of residents, so we start to operate like a community. We feel more comfortable, then we'll start talking and speaking up.
Right, and I think it's easier said than done. I know we're saying things that we'd like to see happen here tonight, but really, if we don't talk about it, and if we don't get out there and take bold actions, nothing will change. And that's all we're asking people out there, is to start looking at what we do in this city in a different way. The one gentleman said this hasn't been going on like this until recent years, and I think we need to get on to something new that respects the things that we had of old. And I think everybody that's going to be calling in tonight, or those of you out there, are probably thinking the same thing that we're thinking, is we're just trying to reach out and find different ways to handle these issues, and there's no one solution that works. Let's take another caller, please.
Yeah, good evening, Sy and Scott. You mentioned bold action, and I'd like to propose something to you that's not popular in Illinois because it's a liberal state. But if you look at Arizona down south, once somebody's been convicted, they get work out of them. They get a work crew. And, people will throw terms here, that's a chain gang. I don't care what they call it. When people are afraid and they're actually given some form of punishment, there's a lot of potholes in the city, there's a lot of road work, there's a lot of garbage that needs to be picked up too. Get them out there and model what they do down south, because it works. Those people, they spend less than $2 a day on food for them. And every one of those convicts, when they interview them, they have nothing but respect. They say, I don't want to come back here because they know that they're not going to get anything but more punishment. And it's not cruel and unusual punishment. It's something that works. And if we don't start demanding that type of action, you're just going to get more of these youngsters who think that they go in and think it's nothing to them to go in and get out.
Right. We spend a lot of time in court on everything from kids who've shot people, kids who've spread graffiti all over the neighborhood. And one thing that I've always asked the state's attorney or the judges to do was to put those kids or those young adults in my charge, and I'll make sure that they get out there and paint over the graffiti or scrape it off of brick or clean up the city in the way that it should be. And in some ways, I know the Arizona sheriff, I can't remember his name,
right.
but I know he's pretty tough, and maybe a little bit too tough in some ways. But a measure of that in this city, I think, would go a long way. What do you think?
No, I agree. I'm wondering, do they allow you to do
They
that?
don't allow me to do it, and it's very frustrating because I would love to get them out there,
Right.
and I'll spend time with them and show them what they've done to damage people's property and hurt others, and what it's done to those people, and what it's had in terms of effect on the city as a whole. And I think we need to get back to a little bit of that.
I like that.
Let's take another caller and see what they have to say. Go ahead. Can you hear us there? Go ahead, caller.
Hi. I want to make a comment about the no snitch law. I know you don't like that word snitch, but if I'm going to be called a snitch because I care about my community, and I know there are young children that are being killed and by accident. It's usually the children that are on their way to school or on their way to the summer job. Now, I myself have called the police on several occasions, and it's like, how many times do I have to call the police about this same corner where I see young guys drinking and smoking marijuana or even selling marijuana out in the open, out in broad daylight? And how many times do I have to do that before a police car is posted there to send a message to them that we're not taking this in this community? Move it somewhere else. Until that community, that block says, okay, we're not going to take that either.
But Alderman, you just said it. You're short police officers. I heard police are one to a squad car. You know, that's pretty dangerous. So it goes back to mismanagement of resources. We show with the Olympics what we can do to raise money. So it tells us where our priorities are in terms of what we're gonna do to raise the money and use it where we should.
Right. That's a very good point. The police department and every other service in the city has been whittled down. The money's going overseas, or we don't know where the money's going to, whatever kind of contract they have set up. And I think that's part of the big problem with the city that we need to change, and we need to change it very soon. One thing that we're doing tomorrow in my community is we've had some gang activity at Western and Armitage. And tomorrow we set up a positive loitering event where we're getting as many people from the community as we can to go out there and stand on the corner and show these guys we're taking over the corner. And it's tough, and I'm sure, you think Western and Armitage, that can't be such a tough area. In some ways it is, and I know it might be a lot different from some other corners on the south side or the west side, but those are the types of actions I think we need to start looking at. And groups like yours who are stepping up with, I believe, mayors and governors on each block in person, like this woman caller said, take charge of that corner,